It is November 5th, 2018. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Mr. Matt Morgan. Raj Giri will be along soon. Monday Night Raw, build up to Survivor Series. Matt, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you, buddy?
Oh, man, I'm so envious you missed Friday, that you didn't have to talk about that weird event. So strange. So strange.
Yeah. Nope, wasn't doing that show, buddy. Wouldn't even watch it.
Yeah, yep. So here we are now, Monday Night Raw, post-Crown Jewel era of WWE, as we build towards Survivor Series. All in all, what'd you think of tonight?
I loved what they did with Drew.
Yeah?
I like they got that going for them. But not what I was expecting out of, hearing how Brock went over at the pay-per-view, and I thought there'd be a lot more with Braun tonight. I thought there'd be a switch tonight. Call me stupid, but that's kind of what I thought would happen.
Yeah, something, right? I mean, it's just here we are again with the champ being MIA.
Not being on the show. Exactly.
Yeah, it's just here. I mean,
pardon you guys, I'm grabbing my headphones.
No worries, man. No, it takes us right back to that problem that we had before the belt got on Roman. But yeah, we have a champion. The champ's not there. And so what are you going to do? There's no stakes. I guess the Survivor Series team captain, they want us to believe that's like the big prize.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, but yeah.
Yeah, Kurt Angle tonight. So you heard what happened Friday, that Kurt lost to Dolph Ziggler. Tonight, another loss.
Yeah. Yeah, what's am I missing anything with that? Is there a side story I'm not aware of?
Not that I'm aware of. It just seems weird to me that you bring this guy back to do singles matches
and beat him down like that.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think he's necessarily putting these guys over. I mean, do Drew and Dolph need to be put over?
Well, in my opinion, that was good for Drew's resume. He'd be
sure.
a gold medalist, Kurt Angle, one of the greatest of all time. For me, that was cool. I like seeing anything forward with Drew.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the rest of the show, Finn versus Bobby, I mean, there was just so much.
Yes. We opened. What's that?
Just bad decision making tonight, in my opinion. That's all.
Yes. So Raw opened tonight. They're over in the UK. They had security around the stage. Baron Corbin on stage. The entire locker room out there on the ramp, or the platform before the ramp. And he was announcing that Ziggler and Drew McIntyre are the first two members of the Raw Survivor Series team. Strowman will also be on the team. And then announcing himself as captain, setting this up a confrontation between him and Kurt Angle, giving Kurt a match against Drew, which was the main event tonight, saying if Kurt had won that match, he would be captain of the Survivor Series team. At the same time, he brought out Alexa Bliss, named her the captain for the women's team. But she will not be wrestling, much like Baron will not be wrestling in his role as Survivor Series team captain. What did you think of Alexa tonight coming out there? A little bit different role for her.
It was different. I really didn't. I mean, what did I miss with that? I didn't really notice.
Well, I think she's injured and can't wrestle currently. So this is a way to keep her in the mix.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought I missed something with her character differently. No. Any opportunity that she gets to talk, she always ballparks it.
No, absolutely. And, I could see them putting her as the female GM for the women's division, maybe as a short-term storyline.
How long is she out for?
I don't know. I'm not aware of the extent, but that's why the match got changed at Evolution. So they could be trying to plan for her long-term. I thought putting her out there in the suit, though, the sort of power outfit, I liked it. I thought it was a different look for her. Played well to her character, and I think this is going to be a good storyline. I'm so excited about Survivor Series. I feel like with all this stuff they've been trying to do in tandem, it sucks that they have to do this rushed build to what's normally one of the most enjoyable pay-per-views of the year.
You're looking forward to it, you said?
Survivor Series? Yeah, I mean, I like Survivor Series as a pay-per-view concept with the brand split.
Yeah. I mean, they're meaningless matches, though, right? Like,
yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I was excited last year to see Brock versus AJ.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great match. But, really, there's nothing at stake, though,
Yeah.
What, brand supremacy? Sorry, I take that back. Brand supremacy is at stake.
Shane McMahon was crowned best in the world at the Crown Jewel, so.
How did that even happen, dude? We got to talk afterwards, but you got to tell me after.
Such a crap pay-per-view. So yeah, back from the break. This up the first. Oh, it of course devolved into a brawl. Any brawl with No Way Jose and the Ascension. I mean, come on.
Ha! When they jumped, what do you mean, Braun?
Yeah, just
When Connor's the second in line after Jinder kicks things off, you're in trouble.
yeah, that was something else. But we had the Riot Squad versus Sasha Banks, Bailey, and Natalya. They set this up that Natalya was going to be wearing her father, Jim the Anvil Neidhart's sunglasses to the ring. Neidhart. So why do I keep doing that? Why? You know why I do that? Let me explain why I do that, because I've explained this before. Look, my last name is spelled the exact same way as their last name. Matt, I know you don't think about my last name very often, but my entire life, people have said to me, Rubenstein or Rubenstein. So it's E-I. Theirs is E-I as well. E-I-D-H-A-R-T.
I think I've been pronouncing your name Rubenstein when I say it.
But here's the deal. My entire life, because I've lived all over this country, what do I say when people ask? I say, I have no preference for the pronunciation. So I'm used to hearing it either way.
Gotcha. I just have never heard anyone call him Jim the Anvil.
I know, and I apologize for do that every time. Is because when I see EI, and I kind of do this too. This is kind of a weird thing, but being of Jewish descent, my father is a rabbi. I kind of pick my audience sometimes. If it's a little more Midwestern or Anglo, it's like, oh, Rubenstein. If I'm talking to someone from New York, I think I got kind of an in. It's like, oh no, Rubenstein. I dropped the rabbi detail.
I got kind of an in.
Yeah, I start talking about Hanukkah and the high holy days.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I've learned to play to the crowds and, do what I got to do, survive in the game, as it were. But so yes, Jim the Anvil Neidhart wearing those sunglasses out tonight. And I'll tell you, at first I was like, well, they're really kind of extending this. But, hey, if Natalya wants to do that, that's cool. And then when I saw what they did with Ruby Riott breaking the glasses and the way Natalya sold that reaction, I don't know about you, but, I found myself believing it. Like I was sucked in.
That. Yeah, I did too. I actually cared. That was the first time in the match I cared.
Yeah. Well, and because this is no longer the playful mischief and hijinks of, oh, we're squirting ketchup on the walls. We're bad. We're edgy.
We're bad. Be scared. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was good. It might seem like a small detail, but man, Natalya sold that like it was just having her heart ripped from her chest. And kudos to her for pulling that off tonight. It took a small detail in a nothing match.
Yes, good call.
Yeah, and now it is absolutely personal. There was no even finish to the match after that, right? It just went into a count out. Banks and Bailey consoling Natalya, who was crying at the end.
That was so well done.
Yeah, that was very good.
So real feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And props to Natalya. Man, she's much more talented than I think she gets credit for, because she sold the hell out of that. To do that, and I'm using the term not to be dismissive of her looks, but I believe the kids call it now the ugly cry. The fact that she was allowed to let herself be seen, just letting it all go like that, takes guts for anyone to do.
Nah, she crushed that segment, that emotion.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? There was nothing hokey about that. There was no overacting. There was nothing. It was just like, wait, we're in a moment right now, I think. You know what I mean? That's what it felt like. It was really, it felt very real. That's all.
And then we follow that up with Apollo Crews versus Jinder Mahal.
Do we even have to talk about it? Good show of athleticism. But what are these guys supposed to do? What are they supposed to do at this time? They're both not getting much burn, and the burn they get on TV is meaningless generally. And I still say Jinder is a very, very useful talent. He's incredibly useful. He's a great utility player, meaning he can be a main event act one night as a heel. Mm-hmm. He could. And then the next night he can be in a random tag with somebody he's never tagged with and make it, be the only guy to get heat for the match and for this team. He's very, very talented. I hate that they continue to misuse him. After they gave him a shot at the main event, in my opinion, he wasn't like some drawing champion or anything, but I thought he hit the ball, warning track. He didn't have the park, but he hit the warning track with it, and I think deserves a lot better than what they give him.
He was a very credible throwback main event heel, I thought.
And I like that. I really like that, because today's day and age, it was so extremely different. And polar opposite of heels getting cheered and yada, yada, yada. Nope, not him. He's getting heat. Yeah.
How many times though? So Apollo Crews won this match with the standing moonsault. How many times has Michael Cole put over this narrative of Apollo Crews finally finding his groove and finding his vibe?
Well, what are you supposed to say though? If you're an announcer and you're supposed to get this kid over, what are you supposed to really do though? Because you know it ain't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, but yet you've got to get him over because you see how athletic he is, you see how talented he is, and most importantly, he's going over in the match. This was a shine match for him specifically. So the announcer's job is to get him over on the mic, on the headset as well, you know, and add to the story, and add to his win, and add to him getting over in that match was the hope, obviously, you know. So, but you do it 20 different times. You know what I mean? Over a course of a year, you're kind of like, what the hell? Come on, we know where this is going. It's going nowhere.
That's when Michael Cole doesn't get enough credit. The Michael Cole can conjure that and make it seem like he believes it.
I couldn't.
I would love, you should have gone into commentary because Michael Cole would be like, Apollo Crews, a performer finally hitting his stride. And you'd be like, who gives a shit, Michael? Okay, on to the next one.
Do we have to watch this? That's what I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, Coachman a couple weeks was like checking Twitter. He was responding to tweets from his official account.
I don't blame him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Raj, do you believe it this time? Apollo Crews, he hit his stride.
Yeah, he's getting that big push we've been waiting for. So for this week, I'm guessing within a couple weeks he's back to where he was.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So this was kind of different. Rollins came out with both tag team titles around his neck and was talking about Dean Ambrose turning on him, setting up what was going on there. Dean being in the building, they were going to have a confrontation. But he talked about defending those belts. He couldn't do it on his own. And Baron Corbin said, oh, yes, you can. And here's your match against the Authors of Pain, Akam and Razor, with 205 Live General Manager Drake Maverick accompanying him. 2-on-1 handicap match. And Rollins put up a good fight for a 2-on-1, but the new Raw Tag Team Champions, the winners of that match, with the double team neckbreaker powerbomb combo, the Authors of Pain.
I like this. I did like this. I like them being the tag team champions. Unfortunately, they ain't got nobody to go against. That's the most meaningless division that it's ever been, in my opinion. And that's saying something. But I like them. I like Drake Maverick with them. I like them as tag champions. I liked everything about that. I just didn't. I guess because you knew the who is it that they beat for the titles again? Come on. Yeah. Why did McIntyre and Dolph have to lose them? Do you know what I mean? I still don't agree with that they needed to lose those titles to tell the story of the turn. This turn did not have to happen on a tag team championship win. I'll stick to that.
Yeah, I agree. It just weakens the titles.
Right.
You got extra heat on Dean for 1 week. It's not like he wouldn't have been this same amount over, 3 weeks later or whatever it is. So
100% right.
Yeah, so they just pissed on the tag titles for this. But, AOP, they're a credible tag team. But, yeah, to your point, Matt, who do they go against? I mean, I guess they were kind of building Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, but, come on. So,
time for the B team to make a comeback.
Yeah. I mean, it's the tag division on Raw is just so bad. And the Usos, they're not really doing much on SmackDown. I don't see why they're not doing more switching between the two brands when there's guys that they don't use at all, on certain shows. Why not move them over if especially when the division needs it? But I agree with you, Matt. I thought this was one of the better things on the show.
You know what? You just have them steamroll every tag team. That's all.
Yeah.
Until they figure it out. Until they figure it out, because they should not. No offense, they shouldn't sell for nobody, because nobody in that tag team division is going to continue to be a tag team, other than the people that nobody cares about that are tag teams that are on main event.
Yeah. You could have Sanity. They're doing absolutely nothing with Sanity. Why not bring them to Raw and have them do something with AOP?
Why aren't they doing anything with them?
They've been. I feel like ever since Killian Dane changed his ring gear to he changed it to like that 80s like job guy gear. Have you seen that?
No.
It's like just a blue singlet.
Oh no.
Yeah, and he just looks like an old job guy, and it's clear he was the one that they saw the most potential in, even though I think Eric the Young is great. But you could tell that he was the one that Yeah. So yeah, they've done nothing.
That Vince had a boner for, definitely. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, Dolph Ziggler versus Elias.
Elias came across like a star here.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
You know, like this
He
babyface
belongs.
turn. Like I think he's doing just enough of tweaking his promos a little to, to be fan friendly, but not overly to where he's now cheesy.
That's what I was just gonna say. Not too new, not too far. Where today's a brand new day. Look at me, everybody.
Yeah. How are you, Manchester?
Come on, Kentucky. Let me hear you.
Let's sing a song together, everyone.
Yeah.
But
that would be awesome. I want Elias to lead people in a sing along. That'd be if he did that sincerely and then turned it at the end. You know, got like the crowd going along with him. That
actually did here, right? He was doing the White Stripes song. The dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Which everybody that's like their soccer theme, isn't it? And that what they chant soccer games?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The crowd.
And then they turned that into an Elias chant. So yeah, kudos to him. He came across as the hottest guy on the show, way more than Braun. They've just kind of screwed over Braun bad the last 2 months.
I don't get it, but whatever.
Yeah.
I thought for sure I'd be reading the spoilers on your site that Braun was a new champion, by the way. For sure I thought that.
I think that made the most sense, especially now when you don't have Roman. You have that gap. At least the title could help fill that gap, but they're not. Instead, that's MIA now too. So, what are you gonna do?
We're living in Bizarro world. But Elias got that win with the drift away on Ziggler. Ziggler, a man who beat Kurt Angle just days ago.
Ugh. I got a whole rant about the whole Kurt Angle thing later.
Yeah. Oh man.
Why beat him? His first singles match in 12 years in WWE, and you just beat him for no reason on. I see doing it to Drew. Yeah, I see having Drew beating him like he did tonight down the road. Get Kurt some wins, get him some steam, so it means a lot more when Drew finally does dominate him.
Especially in front of some of these younger fans that don't know Kurt Angle. You know what I mean? I know they all know him, but they all know him as the GM, a lot of these newer fans.
Exactly. Remind them why he's such a huge star. He's the biggest star on the show. And to just beat him a second match back like that, it would have been way more effective down the road.
I give him credit, though, because he had his acting shoes on big time tonight.
Oh, he made Drew look like a superstar.
But like his facials even on that, he can't go anymore. He's a step behind. He really sold that incredibly well. That's not easy.
Yeah.
He really did, man. He's so damn talented, man. Even a quarter of himself, he's so damn talented.
I agree. It's just too damn soon for when he's been working towards his comeback. Why have him look, out of it right off the get-go?
I feel like we're missing something. Did he get in trouble?
No, he's supposed to be wrestling at the Survivor Series on the Team Raw side. So I don't know. A lot of times you hope that it's part of a bigger story and it's going to lead to something, but how often does it not happen that way?
How do you come out of that, though? He's too old to go anymore. He's a step slow. He's not the same Kurt Angle. Right. How do you unsee that?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, speaking of being cast in that light of being past your prime, you need to remind people of your time to shine.
If you think if Sting went back to Impact Wrestling could still go, that they would beat him in his first match back?
I love the fact that you just cut off his so obvious transition into BlueChews, by the way. But
sorry.
But
I'm just saying. Yes,
Thank you for doing that, Raj.
Just say no company in their right mind, like Impact, would not take back Sting and have him lose right off the bat. Sting could still go.
I don't understand it. It feels like he got in trouble or something. We just don't know it. That's the way he was treated tonight. I'm serious.
It's crazy. But
I don't know. He tapped out on top of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with it because it's all about Drew. Like you got to keep building the monster. You got to keep building Drew. That is the star on that show. Just waiting.
Yeah. But you know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of when Brock Lesnar beat Hulk Hogan. Remember that?
Dude, that's a very good call.
But they didn't do it in Hogan's second match back. Hogan had been around for a while.
Good Lord. They got plenty of use out of Hogan by then.
Yeah.
Hogan also got blood for him. He beat the you-know-what out of him.
Yeah.
He took his blood, smeared it across his chest. Remember that? That was a big moment. They made a big to-do about that. Tonight was like, yeah.
Yeah.
But good nonetheless for him and his character, obviously, and continuing to move forward. But for Kurt, I just don't get it. I don't get it. You're paying him this kind of money. He's a Hall of Famer. You name it. You know, you just don't treat him that way.
Yeah. So, guys, sometimes in the bedroom, does your sex life feel like Kurt Angle's comeback? You're just like, why am I being booked this way? You know, I was such a stud athlete. I was such a star in the bedroom. But instead, I'm tapping out? What the hell? Who books this shit?
You get Kurt Angle some BlueChew.
Got to get him some BlueChew because, guys, you can now increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed, that extra power with BlueChew.
Where can we get this red, white, and blue chew?
Yes, BlueChew.com. That's blue like the color blue, blue like the blueprint. BlueChew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know that they work. You can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach. And since they are chewable, they work up to twice as fast as a pill, so you can be ready for whenever that opportunity arises. We've all tried it. You've heard Matt, Raj, and myself divulge details you didn't want to know. But what can you take away from those details? Oh, it works. You bet your ass it works. Yeah, I mean, how else can you put it? If you have dysfunction, it will give you function. If you already have function, but the function's not quite as good, but it's still functional, you get that extra function. And that's where BlueChew gives you that something extra. That's
you have a date night coming up and you want to make it a little extra special and make sure your performance is at its peak. That's what when I've used it, that's what I've used it for.
I'll do you one better. You're dead tired coming home from work. You want nothing but sleep, but your wife wants something else. I guarantee you take this, your energy, everything changes like that, and it happens quick. The other stuff takes about God knows how long to kick in. This 12 minutes tops for me. 12 minutes.
Yeah, it's chewable, man. And I'll tell you what I like, it doesn't also linger. It doesn't linger like once it leaves your system when you're done.
Yes, that's a good point. That's a huge point, actually.
Yeah, there's no like hangover.
That other stuff, there's a hangover, and it lasts, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah, no, BlueChew is legit. It is where it is at. This is not herbal. This is not like Viagra. This is science at work with FDA-approved active ingredients, same as Viagra and Cialis. It is prescribed online. You do need a prescription, but you just fill out a short form online. It takes like 2 minutes. It ships straight to your door in a discreet package. No in-person doctor to visit. No waiting at the pharmacy. And best of all, no more awkwardness. They are made in the USA. And since BlueChew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than going to a pharmacy. My health plan was trying to charge me an outrageous amount 10 years ago, and I was taking medication that interfered with the fonts. And they were like, no, you can only get this much. And I was like, what? Cost this? BlueChew? So affordable, cheaper, faster, better. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. When you visit BlueChew.com, you will get your first shipment for free when you use our special promo code INC. You just pay $5 shipping. That's BLUE Chew.com. Yes, BLUE Chew.com. Promo code INC to try it free. We thank BlueChew for sponsoring the podcast. Believe me, after Raw, after these pay-per-views lately, I feel like I need this. WWE is just draining the life from me.
That show needs it.
Yeah, seriously. Someone get this for Vince. I know he's the genetic jackhammer, but come on.
Seriously, this show needs gallons of it, buckets of it.
Yeah, I mean, these UK shows, they usually kind of take the night off anyway. So for a UK show, what's that?
But the crowd is usually super pumped and energetic.
Super hot crowd.
Make up for it,
Yeah.
Yeah, so BlueChew.com, promo code INC, get your first shipment free. Just pay $5 shipping. Thanks to BlueChew. Ronda Rousey out there tonight responding to Becky's promo. I got to give credit to Ronda tonight. I thought this was the best she's looked in the ring. I liked the style. I liked her swagger. Liked the promo she cut on Becky, calling out her bio, clown school flight attendant, and then saying she can prove she's the baddest bitch in the WWE.
Yeah.
Short, sweet, to the point, and effective.
Well, you took everything away to talk about it there, Glenn.
I don't know what else to add.
I just feel like props. I feel like I've been so critical of Ronda in the past. Tonight, I am so looking forward to this in Survivor Series. I predict this could be the match of the night.
Yeah, this to me should be at Mania. So I don't know what they got planned for there. I think this is bigger than Charlotte and Ronda. So because Becky's such a great heel, she could really sell that match.
She's so hot right now.
Yeah.
Becky is smoking hot right now with the fans.
Yeah, I don't know if her getting killed by Ronda does her any favors. Hopefully they have time to practice the match. Because Ronda has shown she could get in a little, rehearsal time. She can pull a good match. She got a really good match.
Oh, definitely. Yes, she did. Way better than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? I was going to say that, that maybe they could, because, Survivor Series or whatever, brand versus brand, it could be a DQ. There's a million ways they can get out of this without Becky having to freaking get knocked out and lose.
Yeah. I don't see that. I agree. I don't see them doing that, though.
She's so hot right now, man. They put her over on Charlotte. They're not fans of beating Charlotte at pay-per-views, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say it 5 more times between now and Survivor Series. Becky better go longer with Ronda than Nikki Bella did.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this deserves to be a lengthy knockdown drag-out match.
Her biggest challenge today, by far, it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but again, I don't think. Why does he? I mean, why does? I know she's the baddest, bleep on the planet, and she's being booked as that, and she is that in real life too. P.S. But what I'm saying is, like, what she's shown signs already of selling, right? She's shown signs of getting in trouble. Right, so why they don't make her so dominant? So what I'm saying is, why does she have to dominate her and beat her?
Yeah.
Why?
Hopefully they don't. Hopefully they have.
It doesn't have to go that way. They can get out of this pretty easily and not lose anything on Becky, lose any steam on her. I mean, it's a hell of a risk they're taking. I mean, they're basically saying we don't think Becky's going to be hot all the way to Mania. Yeah, and it's like you guys didn't even expect her to be this hot right now. Who are you kidding?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, because I think Charlotte at Mania, I'm telling you, you say Ronda Rousey versus Ric Flair's daughter, you're going to get for Mania a bigger...
You just are. That's the truth. Yeah. I'm glad someone else has said it. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, Becky's red hot right now, but I am sorry. The dream match, I've still said it, is Charlotte versus her.
Yeah, and media appearances, when she's coming on, they're like, yeah, being the daughter of Ric Flair, you're facing Ronda Rousey. Those are all names that the general public knows. Or enough of the general public knows.
She's more athletic. She's bigger. To me, she's the prototypical. If you can create the perfect female wrestler, it would be her. For my money. Sorry.
Yeah, and maybe we see interruptions. Maybe we see the stables, the other 4 horsewomen from each from UFC and NXT get involved in this.
They need to take a hike. Nobody cares. Yeah.
Nobody cares about it. Yeah.
It's true. Evolution, nobody knew who those other 2 girls were.
Yeah.
They look like 2 random sloppy fans that hit the ring, by the way. They did not look they did not look like anybody like somebody like that's a star. You thought they looked like stars?
Not at all.
No, no one knew who they were. I've been saying
this from the beginning when people are talking about the horsewomen versus horsewomen. I'm like, no one knows 3 of the horsewomen. Why would they care? It just waters down Rousey as opposed to a singles match.
It definitely brings her down. She should have nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. After that promo, we went into Nia Jax versus Ember Moon, and that was a cool match. Aggressive, had a lot going on. Jax won with the Samoan drop, the pin to win, but the big development after was Tamina came out, and Nia and Tamina beat down Ember.
Yeah, I mean, good on Tamina, right? She's getting a pretty damn good spot.
Yes, I mean, this was kind of a heel turn, right, for Nia.
I thought it contributed toward it. Yeah,
it's hard to tell with her because it feels like she's a heel, and then a baby face for a couple of weeks, and back to being a heel.
Hey, she's not like most girls,
right? She's got Big Show syndrome. She's just turning so many times you don't know what she is.
Yes.
But yeah. I mean, pairing her with Tamina makes them look more imposing. So when she does have the match with Ronda Rousey, it just makes it look like she's got a bigger obstacle to climb.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Are we getting female tag teams? Is that happening?
We need to. We need to. We have to.
Yeah, with titles.
We have enough. Come on, we have enough.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, Nia and Tamina, like, it's an awesome tag team.
And I'm really stretching it here, guys. I get it, but work with me. This is where I think they test tag team by having the tag team champions be able to defend it on both shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're so into everyone being exactly equal, right? So I don't think they would do it if they Raw and SmackDown had their own sets. So it'd have to. You know what I would do? I would have Trish and Lita and Bailey and Sasha on the same team at Survivor Series,
Damn.
and with someone else, and then they win, like they're the last four. And then after the end of the match, Sasha and Bailey just kick the crap out of Trish and Lita. It leads to this big tag team feud. You have that be for the tag titles.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty dang good. You have Natty tag with them as the fifth.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be good.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
So yeah, Ashley White, you know Ashley Glenn. She's been on the podcast before. She was at Evolution. She said that WWE was handing out those "We Want Women's Tag Titles" signs. Now, WWE, there are people that I talked to in WWE that are claiming that it wasn't from them. But
I like that. If true.
Ashley said that they were handing it out. And it wasn't just there. There were a couple other events that those signs
Did they see it handing out, though? So I got to my seat on the ramp, and someone, like, wallpapered the seats with Bailey section signs. And then there were signs that said Becky, and I knew who did it. It was that girl, Kimber Lastkick on Twitter, that takes all the photos and goes to like every Becky appearance. And I knew they weren't official WWE because Kimber's thing she's been pushing on the back, they had Boo the Woo, like on the back side of it. And WWE has confiscated those signs before.
Yeah.
So, like,
sorry, Glenn.
No, but my point is this, Matt, is Ashley saying somebody went there and handed out "We Want Women's Tags," or did she come in and find it on her seat? Because if she found it on her seat, it was a fan.
I think she said that the security, like there was a WWE security guy that was handing them out.
Okay, that is good to know.
Interesting. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if it's just a way for them to be like, oh, the fans have been demanding it. They've been bringing these signs.
Yeah, well, we are, but we have people like you swearing up and down that it'll never happen.
I'd rather them do that than just this random group of girls are friends this week and they're all hanging out together, and then which is
definitely
what they do now.
It gives them when in those moments actually where they put these two randoms in tags. At least there's something there now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just look at how piss poor the Raw men's tag division is. I'm like, do we need another?
Girls is way better,
but it would be like I said, if they did Charlotte and Sasha and Bailey, and I think Trish and Lita would be the right feud to get it jump started.
Oh my God!
So
hell yeah, Riot Squad can tag up.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them, man. Tamina and what's her name?
Nia.
Yeah.
Nia, even though Nia's in a single, I mean, there's so many things you can do.
Yeah.
So originally it was supposed to be Corbin versus Angle in the main event for the Captain of Survivor Series, but Corbin said he had an emergency appointment tonight, had to drive off. Kurt Angle was going to face Drew McIntyre instead. McIntyre's Corbin's replacement. It was weird that like Braun just came in. Braun, who's had these great backstage segments of like lifting up cars and just wrecking shop, is like chasing away. Like, remember the movie Better Off Dead? Like the kid Ricky chasing after his balloon. That's what Braun looked like tonight.
Yeah. He just looked like a goof by the end of this. He's getting outsmarted at every turn. Can't catch Corbin. They just killed this guy's steam.
They really did.
Yeah, it was just bad tonight. I mean, it's like I thought we were building up to a big backstage beatdown. I thought Braun was gonna flip something over.
Well, you think those were high expectations? I thought he was coming on Raw tonight to face Brock and take the title. So how about
Brock doesn't wrestle on Raw though.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I thought that's what was going to happen.
Yeah, but Brock is going to be on next week. So to build with his match with AJ, it'll be interesting to see what they do because they already had Brock beat AJ last year. And I can't see AJ beating Brock.
Another reason why I thought Braun for sure was going to win at the pay-per-view.
Yeah. So do you have Braun? You could have Braun interfere in Brock and AJ and do a DQ or something.
It's still AJ versus Brock again, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have a problem seeing the same thing again.
I mean, that was good. It was a good.
I loved it.
It was great.
I'm wrong. Maybe Brock AJ too. They hype it up as I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it hurts AJ a lot to have him just lose again to Brock.
And be the afterthought yet again.
Yeah, the second year in a row, the SmackDown World Champion loses clean to Raw.
They're doing it wrong. Like, honestly, the way to do it is have AJ go over and then give Braun his rematch, and then Braun goes over. and puts him out on a stretcher to never come back to Raw.
I can't see them doing that. You know how Vince feels about how he positions Brock, and you see how he positions AJ. A win over Brock holds a lot of value in Vince's eyes. He doesn't give those out.
Do we have dates on Brock? Do you know how long he's signed
with them for? Well, reportedly is 2 matches. So whether that's
there you go. What's wrong with what I just booked?
I know. I would do that. No,
that's
I
the
agree.
Most use of
no, for sure. I totally agree. I'm saying that you know how Vince thinks of Brock. I mean, Brock's here like 3 times during the summer, but he'd still rather have Brock holding the title that whole time than someone else.
And get his 2 matches out of him over a year?
No. I think it'll be the second one will either be the Rumble or Mania. I think a lot of it will depend on
be Mania. It's too
when
long,
he fights
man.
Cormier. Yeah, I could see it. I mean, they could always add more appearances for him. Yeah,
that's different.
Yeah. So I feel like here at Wrestling Inc., the Wednesday podcast crew, we should take responsibility for this and apologize. Bobby Lashley came out with Lio Rush tonight. Lio Rush was not wearing an earpiece, so Vince was not whispering things in his ear to say, and it sucked.
Really? I thought this was so much better. Leo not talking during the match, I thought it was a lot. I mean, him but before actually showing his ass to the crowd was dumb as hell. It made him look like that's something like a low-level heel, should be doing, not a
it's like some indie show shit.
Yeah, but I thought Leo not talking during the match, I was able to concentrate a lot more on the match. It was easier to focus on it. And I thought this match wasn't bad. The crowd was pretty quiet, but
but at the beginning with Leo was better with Vince in his ear.
Vince was in his ear that whole time?
That's what the word on the street was.
So he's saying things like, give it up for my main man, Bobby.
Yes.
You telling him to say that?
We did a recreation of that on a Wednesday podcast with Justin LaBar as Vince and Nick Hausman as Bobby Lashley.
But yeah, I mean, I granted before the match the promo wasn't anything special, but I'd rather have that than the talking all the way through the match and the constant yelling while you on the house mic. So I thought this was a lot better.
Yeah, that went on forever beforehand. Let's talk about the match. Finn and Bobby. So these guys have gone back and forth. Bobby got the win on Finn here. I thought the match was okay, man. What are they doing with Finn? What are they doing with either of these guys, but especially Finn? Like, this is bad. Because, I don't know. Like, Finn he hasn't done anything, like anything of note.
But they still think they can steal semi-main events with him. You notice that? Or main events even. They think they can steal it with him still. And they're putting a lot on him doing that without any kind of writing for him whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of in the kind of like the spot they had Matt Hardy in forever back in the day. Where he's a popular guy, but they're never going to push him to that certain level. They don't see him as a top guy, a main event guy. So that's where he is.
He was beating Bobby, remember?
It looks like they've kind of lost a lot of faith in Bobby too. Yeah, they're not protecting him near as much as they were a few months ago. Yeah. So right. I think they probably see Bobby as a little bit above Finn.
Well, they should see that. No offense to Finn. I love Finn. But they should see that. They both should be main event talents, first of all. But Bobby needs to be the Brock Lesnar of that show, or there needs to be no more Brock Lesnar on that show.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's why Heyman with Lashley makes a lot more sense to me than Leo.
Rush. Definitely. Oh, my God. Could you imagine the money?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. God.
It was what it was.
And Paul would do it differently, too. He would do it differently than what he does with Brock.
I would pay $100 for Paul to come out and say exactly what Lio Rush is saying, but just Paul Heyman, my man.
This is my man.
He's kidding. Lashley.
Oh, it's so annoying. Not in a heat getting way. Yeah. In a way, I want to punt him across the stadium like a football.
Yeah. Well, it was so. Lashley won that. With gut wrench face first, Balor into the mat. Lashley got the pin for the win. After that, Drew McIntyre came out, lended Finn a helping hand, and you thought, ooh, maybe a little alliance here, Ireland and Scotland. But no, threw him against the ropes, knocked him down.
Claiborne.
Yeah.
Claiborne to Finn. He had a little standoff, a little face-to-face with Lashley at first. Then Lashley walked out. So for a second, it almost appeared like it was a Drew McIntyre, like were they turning him face or like starting to drop hints of it? But then no, he just flattened him. He just flattened Balor. So it's just getting more heat on Drew. I mean, it's clear they got big plans. Like he's main eventing shows with Braun, this winter. Like the house shows are Drew and Dolphin handicap matches against Braun is the main event.
Cool. Kurt Angle versus Drew McIntyre, the main event tonight.
I was excited about this at first until the direction they went in.
Yeah. I thought, like I said, I think it did a lot to help. I think it helped Drew a lot. It does help Drew a lot.
Monster. It does. And he did good character development with the talking smack in the ring. It wasn't just smack he was talking. It was believable what he was whispering to Kurt. You couldn't hear it all. And I liked that part of it, actually, that you couldn't hear every single word.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know why, but I thought it added more realism to the moment when he's grabbing him by the face and pie facing him and talking smack to him. It was good.
Yeah.
And so much more hurtful in a Scottish accent.
It worked. It worked. One of my biggest complaints about him was I could never understand what he says because of that thick accent. But I don't know what he's done differently, but I understand him just fine now.
Yeah. And he beating Kurt with his move, making him submit to his own move. I mean, that's kind of something you do when someone's leaving the company. But yeah, it was.
Was that really his own move though? That he was on the ground, he was laying on his back.
Well, it was the the what's wrong with me? Right?
Ankle lock?
It was an ankle lock.
Yeah, but then he just kind of laid down with it. Kurt would do that.
Kurt's done when he wants to finish. Yeah, and we really wants people to believe it's the finish coming.
Yeah. So, I mean, Drew looked dominant. He looked like a superstar. I think he gets bumped up quite a bit. Just, again, everything I said earlier. Why bring Kurt this, back after all this time to just be used as another guy and lose this quick? I'm all for him losing to Drew down the road in a month or something. Give Kurt some wins. You build him up.
It would mean even more for Drew if that was their goal of getting Drew over. Then But something tells me the story was not about Drew tonight. I'm being serious. Something tells me the story was about Kurt. So let's see where it goes. The main story in that match, I'm telling you, in their eyes, was not about getting Drew over. I have a feeling it was that story we saw Kurt tell in the ring.
That Kurt's role, like he needs to give it up.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be that. That had to have been the primary objective in that match tonight. With Drew getting over and looking like a beast, which is always good business.
It's never a good sign. It's not a good sign for Kurt then, because WWE, they, usually when they do that storyline out, it's the other guy just jobbing constantly. So
yeah,
we'll see. So
if it's Kurt, coming back out of all these years, I mean, he's done tag matches, but not, as a singles run. So come back after all this just to lose nonstop until he retires, it seems.
Well, we don't know, so we'll see.
We don't know.
I mean, if anyone else other than Brock was the champion, man, like a title versus career match would be pretty sweet with Kurt.
And be believable.
Yeah, but I don't see that happening with Brock.
Not now after what we saw Kurt do tonight either.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good match. I wish they were booking him differently, man. I mean, like losing to Ziggler. He should have at least beat Ziggler if he was going to lose tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why give us another Rollins, what's his name? Dolph Ziggler match? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That made no sense. There was no reason he had to lose to Ziggler in the opening round. You could have easily changed that, to where Kurt loses in the, quarterfinals.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Or the semifinals, I mean. But yeah. So weird booking. It's just all so weird lately with WWE. Triple H tore his pec, and we'll talk about that more in a little bit. Instead of changing the finish, having Shawn get the win, Triple H still gets the pin, even though he's not, he's out of action for at least 6 months. Just weird.
He tore his pec?
Yeah.
We skipped over the thing with Dean when Dean came out.
Good job.
Hey.
We got AOP winning the titles, but yeah, you're right. We forgot.
Dean came out and kept saying, "You want to know why I did it?" And then just dirty deeds him, and no answers.
Probably better that way because the explanations are usually never that good. Like Randy Orton, right? He destroys Jeff Hardy's ear, and his explanation was because the fans weren't writing him when he was out of action. You know, that was his explanation. So I'm almost better if they don't ever give an explanation for it.
Yeah. It's an interesting storyline. It's just, man, so one more till Survivor Series, one more Raw till Survivor Series. Then we're good. They're probably not going to do anything week of Thanksgiving, anything meaningful, and start building for TLC. I just feel like we're not going to get, I mean, the Rumble is going to be the next pay-per-view with like a really good build. Maybe.
It should. Maybe. I mean, it usually is. It usually is.
Yeah, but so is in the years past with Survivor Series. In my opinion, the last few is not.
Yeah. Well, last year they threw a ton of star power in, but it didn't have much of a.
What am I missing? What did they throw in?
Remember last year they had Cena, and then Triple H took out Jason Jordan and joined that match, the big one.
Oh yeah, the thing with Braun looking confused ringside.
Yeah, and who else? And they had Shane O'Mac in there, so they put names in, but it didn't have. There was no stip, right? It didn't matter really who won.
Right, that's the whole thing. Who cares about brand supremacy? Bragging rights. None of them care.
Right. And yeah, they don't care. They make it clear that it's Raw, that Raw is the important brand every week.
Well, the rest of the superstars themselves, the SmackDown superstars don't go, we got to win because we're on Smack. They don't care.
Right. I just think about how much better some things would be if like if Kurt was back on, on SmackDown. There's so much stuff that they could do with him for now before they decide, to phase him out. Like him and AJ would be an awesome feud, on SmackDown side.
Oh, yeah.
But instead they're doing this.
No, you're right, dude.
Yeah. We'll see. One more week till Survivor Series. One more Raw. SmackDown tomorrow night. We'll see how that all goes down. Triple H got injured at Crown Jewel.
Yep. So as we mentioned, he tore his pec. Tweeted out a picture tonight. He's having surgery tomorrow. So yeah, so that's Matt. Usually, what have you seen with other wrestlers with a torn pec? It's like 6 to 9 months. Right?
I tore mine, but I was supposed to win the world title at TNA for the Bound for Glory first Bound for Glory series tournament, and I tore my pec right after my third week in that tournament, and I was devastated. I kept telling Russo, I'm like, I'm not gonna get the surgery. I'm gonna rehab it, and I'll be back in a month. No, bro, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. It doesn't mean it's your time. We'll get it back. We'll get it back, that kind of thing. So I forewent surgery on it, okay, and I rehabbed the hell out of it. And it still had problems to this day because I didn't get the surgery, right? But long story short, maybe 6 weeks, and I was pretty much good to go.
That was rehabbing it.
And that's rehabbing and not getting a surgical repair. Surgical repair is going to be longer.
Yeah, so surgically repaired, did they kind of give you an ETA if you did have the surgery?
I want to say 3 months.
No, because everywhere
6.
Yeah, is normally what I've been seeing. Like Tino Sabatelli's out with it right now. Bray Wyatt had it a while back. He was out like 6 months when he was in NXT. Edge had it. I think he was out.
And it also depends on where in the pec they get it torn. You know what I mean? Mine was here where the bicep connects to the chest right there, if you will. Most guys, they're not saying when they tear, they kind of tear it in here.
Yeah.
And when they tear it here, that's much worse.
Yeah. So you would assume that means Triple H can't do Mania, but Shane O'Mac was in no condition to wrestle at this last year's WrestleMania. He still did. So, they make exceptions for McMahon's. So we'll see. Do. And they had been teasing him and Batista. So, I don't see what else Batista would do if Triple H isn't in there. There's no real exciting match for him. So.
No, you're right.
Yeah. What else do we got? We talked about Brock Lesnar re-signed with WWE. 2 matches.
And then the Observer had reported that the original plan for the Survivor Series. So the original plan before Roman Reigns found out about his leukemia coming back was for Reigns to beat Lesnar, or Reigns to retain the title at Crown Jewel. And it wasn't for Raw versus SmackDown at this year's Survivor Series. They actually changed that after the diagnosis. I guess they didn't want to do Reigns versus AJ, and
interesting.
That changed. Yeah. So,
what would it have been? for Survivor Series?
It probably would have been Roman and Strowman. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So plans
There you
change.
have it. Cool. What else we got? I feel like we hit upon a lot of things here.
Yeah. Kind of covered a lot there in a quick period. I think that's kind of it.
Yeah. Crown jewel.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar. So Brock Lesnar, Daniel Cormier called him out after his fight this past weekend. 2-fight deal right now. It's not known as, a 2-match deal with WWE. Obviously, in the past, as we've seen, they've added more on. They've renegotiated as they went along. So that doesn't necessarily mean that he's just going to wrestle one more time after Survivor Series. And Cormier wants him. Cormier's looked pretty healthy after his win. So it just depends on when they book that fight, Lesnar versus Cormier. Dana White wants to do it. It remains to be seen if Lesnar really wants to do it or if he's just using this as get tons and tons of money out of Vince.
Yes.
Nothing has been signed yet, and he's getting these sweet deals.
Do you think that there's a way that Brock wears that WWE Universal title into the Octagon?
I don't think Dana White would want that.
I can't ever imagine him being okay with that.
Yeah, I can't see that. Yeah, I don't see it. I can see. I don't even see them wanting to mention it. They don't want to be. They had a hard time disassociating from pro wrestling when they first started. Like they wanted to make sure it was never, compared and making people know that it's legit and not scripted.
Yeah. Guess what? The best part of their business is the pro wrestling part.
Yes, Connor. I mean, he's complete Ric Flair. He's a modern day Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was one more thing. What was the other thing? Shane McMahon is him winning at Crown Jewel is apparently setting up a heel turn for him. So he's turning heel. That's why he won. Yeah. Instead of using that tournament to get a new young talent over or someone to the next level, it's for a Shane McMahon heel turn.
Good Lord.
What are you going to do?
Yep. Well, the year's almost over. Royal Rumble, they'll start caring again between the Rumble and Mania.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Maybe. Possibly.
Or they'll start caring again next year when SmackDown moves to Fox.
It's true. Good Lord.
Someone saying that Dana White was asked about Lesnar wearing the WWE title. Mike is in the chat, and apparently Dana said he'd be fine with it. He just didn't think that Vince would be happy about it. I really don't. I think Vince would be just fine with it. Oh,
yes, he'd be elated with it.
Yeah, could you imagine how much business that pay-per-view is going to do and to have the WWE title on there?
Can you imagine how many boos he's going to get in that UFC arena for wearing it?
Yeah,
oh, my God. They're going to, fight purists are going to lose their bleep.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. So, Matt, anything you want to plug here before we wrap this up? Take it home?
No, sir. I'm going to bed. Good night.
Okay. There you go. Raj, what's coming up on the site?
Tons of interviews, stuff with Lance Anoy, Roman Reigns' cousin. We got something up with him today where he's talking about how he found out like everyone else did when Roman announced it on Raw. But Roman's been like a mentor to him, and his dad is Samu, who also has cancer, so it's a tough time for them. So he talked about that. And tons of we got an interview with the Godfather. Tons of stuff coming up, so keep checking out the site.
Cool. I'm Glenn Rubenstein. I'm going to be out this Wednesday, but Justin LeBar and Nick Hausman. Are you filling in, Raj?
Yes, I will be filling in.
And Raj Giri. Get him to do the Leo Vince thing. That really livened up the Wednesday podcast.
Yeah.
Yes, worth tuning in for that alone. And I'll be out this Wednesday. But then my schedule is going to kind of return to normal for a while. I'm going to take a vacation at the end of the month, but I'll be back in the game. Follow me on Twitter. I'm at Glenn Rubenstein. And until next time, folks, we will see you back here on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.